last time, you guys were staying at the Hydrangea House, near the La Compagnie de Fedora,
Look.
and I just forgot everything I just made notes about.
Are we going to talk about
Um,
what just happened? Harris, did you just
What?
mute yourself and then just scream into the void?
Wait, what? I missed
I thought he
it.
was faking it. I didn't notice the mute sign.
I didn't mute.
Okay.
Okay.
your
No,
microphone just saved us.
no, I didn't scream at all. I just, so like the last time on Dragon Ball Z, and it was just me mouthing off.
Oh
Yeah,
god. So
yeah.
anyway,
Um,
restart.
anyway, uh, last time on Atlaran, uh, you guys were staying at the Hydrangea House, near the La Compagnie de Fleur, at the low rent. I don't even remember what your rent was. Anyway, you're not paying a ton of rent. But while you were taking a chance to chill out and eat some delicious foods made by your friend Wally, uh, Damian received a gift, a
Wally.
golden pocket watch with a simple note that said "Love, with love, Aunt Vida." Uh, Neither of the
Auntie
Castille
Vita.
brothers know a Vida, nor do you have any aunts. Uh, Preston identified the watch as the Atara timepiece, which can record and play back 1 minute of time, including visuals in a 10-foot cube. Uh, you guys decided, mostly at Damian's suggestion, to head to a underground fighting pit to see if you could see some of these places where the poor and destitute gather and get sick from bowing fever. Um, the area that you ended up going to was beneath Hartstead Square. I don't think I mentioned this last time, but the Constantian Underground does have a name. It's called the Undercroft. This particular area and fighting pit was owned by the Plaza Demonen, or the Plaza Demons, as it would be in common.
Plaza de
Uh,
Bonin.
and this fighting pit is an illegal place where people can go to bet, fight, and explore all kinds of alleyway vendors down in the tunnels. Very reminiscent of Lowtown from Final Fantasy 12, or like the alleyways near V's place in Cyberpunk. Uh, Damian signed up for a fight after taking off his arm to look as pitiful as possible, and then Todd joined the line too, getting laughed at by the people around him. Uh, oh, sorry. Before that, you guys found a jade merchant down in the
Ugh.
Undercroft, a man who looked like a melting version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is saying something. And you found a couple useful items, such as the Trueborn Teapot, which grants sorcerers some extra sorcery points, and the Grove Mala, which grants monks a couple extra key points.
Both things you will regret.
And you got them pretty cheaply, too. After leaving the Jade Merchant, you signed up, and Damien was pitted against a Goliath who called himself Anacalatai after some famous caskers from centuries long past. During the fight, Damien ended up getting a haste spell cast on him by a stranger up in a VIP box, a half moon elven woman by the looks of it. You also were able to investigate some of the clerics after you won your fight, and learned that basically people who come down here and get hurt, the clerics will make sure they don't die, but if they can't pay for their medical bills, they're as good as dead, really, or
Yeah.
just in debt for the rest of their lives. Um,
America.
Todd took on a fresh out of school young wizard named Perry Hodder,
Mm-hmm.
who was a very polite young man who believed in the spirit of proper dueling. So he cast mage armor on himself and he said,
It's
"Next to you, sir," and
deeply British.
you
Uh-huh.
deleted him. Um, feeling pity or guilt or something, Todd sponsored the Revivify to get him back because he was, when I say he was deleted, his hit points were exceeded 3 times. So he was double dead, DED. And the young wizard was dragged out of the ring to see if anybody could do anything for him, but it's going to take some regeneration to help him. And I believe Todd threw in some money to help eventually afford a regeneration scroll for him. After Damian's fight, Ezra went up to the VIP box where that half moon elven woman was and introduced himself because he recognized this woman. She introduced herself as Dr. Victoria Boeing of the Constanos Board of Health and gave Ezra her card. She is the granddaughter of the discoverer of the Boeing fever, Andrea Boeing. You also met her charming son, Alexander. But she basically said that she was around the Undercroft, just watching how things go, trying to find out how the Boeing fever is contracted, because it doesn't seem to be contracted by any usual methods of disease. She has a theory that there is some source somewhere down here or somewhere in like the slums that they don't know about yet. When Ezra asked her if she helped out Damian down in the ring, Ezra being careful not to mention, oh shit, that guy's my brother, she said she didn't know what you were talking about. And she took her son and went off to dinner. And I believe that is just about where we finished last time, with Ezra welcome to the VIP box per her permission, and the rest of you down near the pit, enjoying your winnings and all that.
I've solved the case.
Cool.
Good job.
She's lying.
Oh,
She
brilliant.
did cast haste on Damian.
A smattering of applause.
Case closed.
What would
I
you guys like to
guess
do?
I go meet back up with them.
Boys' night. Yeah,
Every
so
night
you
is
go,
boys' night with us.
yeah. You go meet back up with your friends, including 2 new additions, Bartholomew the guinea pig and Gustav the Lochmany goose, aka Canada goose. Or sorry, he's
My
a
God.
South Balin goose, my bad.
The elves are
Y'all-
now outnumbered by the circus animals.
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all, I
Congratulations.
should send you the stats for this guinea pig that Taiylor sent me because
It's pretty good. He has an ability called Weak, Weak, Weak.
it's so cute.
Weak, 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 Weak.
Yeah.
1 hit point. 2
2 hit points,
AC.
thank
2
you.
kittens.
Damn, that's twice
Ooh.
as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Mhm.
buff little bro.
You might
And
be able
he's
to
got a
stand
pretty
up
high
to
armor
one
class.
mind sliver.
I'm scared for him already.
Gonna kill him
Anyway.
the moment you sneeze.
No.
Better hope we don't get hit with
Taiylor,
an
now is the
AoE.
time to tell you that I have guinea pig related trauma. So
I
please
know,
don't.
you told me last time.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
You
Well,
shouldn't have told
please-
me.
please don't kill this guinea pig.
I won't do it on purpose.
Anyway. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey boys, hey.
Hey.
Hey there,
Gustav
Delilah.
honks.
What?
Honk back. Honk
Oh.
honk to you. I had a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to know what it was?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so I basically
Is the
met the
stream on
lady.
half speed? What is happening?
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody's fucking responding to me.
I
I'm trying
responded
to...
like 3
Yes.
times.
I know. Thank you,
Oh.
Ben. Thank you
Oh
for
my
yes
God.
ending.
Sorry. I consent to you telling me something. Go ahead.
Oh my God. All right, so I talked to the lady who was up in the booth, the one who cast a little spell on you, sir. She denied it, but whatever. Like, I'm not stupid. I have eyes. Yeah, it turns out she has an interesting surname. Boeing. Yeah. She's apparently the what?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was looking for like some nice background folk
Oh
music
my
and I
God.
clicked on something called German folk music and a man started yodeling. And I was like, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Harris,
Sorry,
I
please
think
continue.
Zach, I think this means that you're gonna need to rework Ezra's theme to include yodeling.
No, absolutely not.
I can
You
just
guys are
probably
French,
record
not
it.
German.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll
It's
be
some
French
French
yodeling then.
No.
God damn it.
It's just La Vie en
Love
Rose.
it.
I didn't realize that
Over and
French
over
yodeling
again.
sounded exactly
Yeah,
the same as
uh-huh.
having a dick in your mouth.
That's a good ass song though.
Oh my God.
It is. It is.
You're not wrong, Koop.
I'm glad someone heard it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I heard it. I'm just ignoring it.
Okay.
Oh my God, please.
So what else did you hear, Ezra?
I talked to her. And she's studying it right now. And she gave me her card. And I'm just saying I might have gotten us a lead or whatever. So, thank you, Ezra. Oh my God. Like,
Is
that's so
Ezra
cool of
human?
you.
No,
No.
he's a moon elf.
Moon
Oh.
elf. Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah.
you don't have to. I'm sorry. I just had like a very like smallpox blanket moment, and I was like, did she just infect you by giving you that card?
Oh God, no.
I know. I
That's
just
a
gave
good
Taiylor
idea.
No.
ideas.
So
I'm
yeah,
going to write that down.
you're welcome.
Jesus.
Well, seems like that'll be helpful.
Yes, it will.
That's racist.
Wow.
Racist.
Wow.
It's not racist, but it's definitely not nice. It's a
I'm
little
sorry.
more bitchy
If
than-
an Asian person came up to you and talked to you in an Asian accent and you responded to them in their own accent, that would be racist.
Yeah, but this isn't a Loxodon accent.
Right.
This is the Garrel Shell accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more like a British person coming up to me, and it's just kind of a cringy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also the same as going up to a British person being like, "Hey, pip pip, cheerio, fucker."
Yeah.
Dude, oh my fucking God.
Ezra's
Oh my
tired.
God.
Ezra's very tired. Ezra would like to go home.
It's not
Could you
Ezra's
imagine
fault,
if
trust
a British
me.
person walked up to Americans and they're just like, "Can you show me to the Olive Garden?"
I'd like one cheeseburger, please.
One triple cheeseburger,
Good Game Grumps
please.
reference.
Yeah. Corey and I do that all the time. Like 30 cheeseburgers and a Coke.
Where do I go to visit your crumbling
Holy
healthcare
fuck,
system?
somebody continue the Dungeons and Dragons.
So, what are we gonna do about this bitch who's handing out her cards, her infected cards?
I don't think they're infected. All right, here. I gave a little read over her. She doesn't give off evil hag vibes. She actually
many-
seems like she's kind of trying to help.
How
From
many
what I
evil
can tell.
hags have you met?
Well, have you met my mother? Anyway.
Damian in the corner.
Yeah. But she actually, from what I can tell, it seems like she genuinely is trying to work on figuring out what's going on with it. Again, she could be a total like psycho and she's pulling the strings and everything, but the read that I got on her was that she actually is trying to figure out a way to put an end to it.
The Constantinos Board of Health is keeping information.
Probably.
Like, away from the public, away from people like me, to be able to help, so... she works with the Constantinos Board of Health. It could be an ally, it could help, but we should definitely keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
Did we want to go back to where the clerics are treating the guys and see if maybe we can find something back there?
Yeah, we have a lead too. If people get hurt in these events, like Mr. Hodder over there, and they can't...
Extra hotter right now.
Yeah.
Yes. He should be extra crispy.
Oh my god, his name is literally Hodder. And we burned him. Oh my god.
Perry even hotter.
Perry even hotter. Yikes.
Very cold.
That's where Perry was. Oh my god. Remember when we were playing on Sunday and we were like, wait, didn't we run into a Perry?
Yes, completely unintentional.
That's what it was. Okay.
Anyway.
The boy who was deleted.
The boy who charred. No, if people can't afford their medical payments, it wasn't said explicitly what happens to them, but it didn't look very good. And I would imagine that those people become desperate, and the desperate people are the ones being taken advantage of.
I mean, I was desperate once and tried an animal testing trial.
Is that what happened?
What? You can't see the scars.
Why
you wear a hat? Is your brain exposed under there?
Yeah.
Yes. Here's the thing. Because I know the way that Blake plays these characters. I know the way. And this could be bullshit, but I want to make an insight check on that to see if that might actually be true.
Oh my god.
I know, Yoongi, you're upset. That is a 23.
26.
Ah, damn.
Holy shit!
And you're not going to tell me what it was.
Nope.
The only thing I will say is that, yes, it seems to be true.
Obviously.
But there's just something. There's just something there.
Can you guys hear my cat crying?
No.
Okay, good.
You get the feeling that there's something there that Todd doesn't realize he's telling you.
Oh, interesting.
Something there that wasn't there before.
Something there that wasn't
No,
there
it's always
before.
been there.
Cool.
Something sweet.
Well,
Almost kind.
I think we head back over to where the clerics work on people and wait for someone who can't pay for their stuff and see what happens to them. Maybe where they go after this. You guys want to tail someone? You guys want to sneak around and follow someone? See what they do?
That's Ezra's whole career.
Yeah. Ezra is the tail.
That's a different thing.
Cool.
Okay.
So I guess we'll wait for someone to get super whooped and not be able to afford their shit and see what decisions they make after that.
Yeah, didn't we see a couple people?
The Goliath and Hodder both got fucked.
I refuse to keep following this person.
There was a dwarf ahead of time too.
Yes.
Who got fucked up.
You saw a dwarf get suplexed and his back get broken.
Mm-hmm. And he couldn't afford to pay
exactly
the clerics. Okay.
So if you look for him, you'll see some of the clerics starting to stabilize him on a stretcher to actually take him away somewhere.
Okay.
Perry has already been like, he is in the process of being rushed off to like an actual hospital. Because he did have somebody throw in some money for him, and being a kid from, you know, a prestigious school, his parents probably have some money.
What do we say
Or-
he was from? Hogfarts?
If he's
What parents?
Wogharts.
Wogharts,
Woghart,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if
Oh
he's
my God.
if he's Harry Potter
You're
but
thinking
flipped,
of pig farts from Harry Potter.
if he's
possible.
Harry Potter but flipped,
Yeah.
he has parents but no money.
Oh, yes, sorry, no. But he is being taken to a hospital because Todd did throw in some money for him.
Mm-hmm.
The same care is not being taken with this dwarf.
Yeah, I wanna see where this dwarf decides to take his life.
Well,
Oh,
he doesn't get to decide right now. Somebody else.
Not in that
is
sense.
taking-
Not in that sense. It would take himself
Whoa.
to figure out what to do with his life.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
oh my god, that was the most beautiful slip up. That was wonderful.
Man,
Wow.
where the fuck is Freud?
Decides to take his life.
Oh god.
Woof.
I don't think that
Oh.
was that's not a Freudian slip up. That would be a
That's a like
Customer
that's like
service representative slip up.
that's a similar to a double entendre.
Oh,
No, hold on. Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Christ, that was hilarious. Sorry.
I think
That's so fucking good.
I think you would call that, as opposed to Freudian, I think you would call that more of like a Hemingway slip up.
No, it's a double
Yeah.
entendre.
That
A Kevorkian slip up?
Make a joke. 'cause
Kevorkian
I was
slip
trying to
up.
Okay.
I was trying to continue the joke because Hemingway.
Okay, sorry.
Hemingway
I
killed
thought we were being
himself.
serious.
Yeah.
Am I still asleep?
Still asleep.
Are you still
Oh.
asleep?
I feel like
No.
we're all just saying the
No,
wild
this is
shit.
normal.
As an elf, you
We're all
actually
still
don't have to
asleep.
sleep.
Yeah, you
I
just
wish,
trance.
goddamn.
You just meditate.
Anyway, are we trailing the dwarf?
I would like to.
Okay. You may make me. Are you trying to be like stealthy?
Not
about
gonna move
it?
fast.
I can be stealthy because I can turn invisible.
Okay. Is anybody else trying to be stealthy about it?
There's no point.
I'm a chicken, so I'm gonna pretend to be a chicken.
Okay.
So stealth, yeah. But chicken.
I mean,
so advantage.
stealth isn't just sneaking around, it's also like blending in or looking like you're not following somebody while you follow
Mhm.
them. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna
everybody
do that.
everybody who wants to follow, go ahead and make me a stealth check.
Stealth. I'm invisible, so I have advantage, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
Nat 20
Shit.
or 27.
Wait. I have an idea.
Oh,
Oops.
Can I be a volunteer?
A volunteer in
For the
what
Hunger Games?
sense?
I have healing magic. I can go in there and I can help patch up a couple of dudes.
So you want to stay here and help people while these guys follow the other guy?
No, I'm saying that, like, I'll go with the dwarf.
Oh,
Being like,
okay.
hey, I can help patch him up. I know some healing magic. I might be able to help out.
But we're waiting
Make
for
me
him to leave.
Yeah, I make
Yeah,
me
we
a
need him
persuasion
desperate.
check.
Oh no, that's a 9.
That's not
Oh,
good.
okay.
No?
Admittedly, I do know healing magic.
So, three of you just sort of blend into the crowds and sneak around. Damian straight up disappears. Gustav waddles along behind you guys, and Bartholomew is tucked safely into Ezra's jacket, occasionally making a teeny tiny squeak. Preston approaches the actual clerics to offer some help. The person sort of leading this operation to move this dwarf looks up. Another dwarf, a little on the tall side for a dwarf, sort of shaven head, long braided beard, and he looks up at you and he says, Yeah, what do you want?
I might be able to help some folks out. I got some Heelys, and I can just kind of beep.
Can you carry people?
Yeah.
Great, here you go. And he literally hands you like one of the handles of the stretcher.
All right. Up,
Yeah.
up, up.
Oh my god. We
just
recreated the fox.
Just to picture
the
this
Robin
then,
Hood.
is there like clerics leading this dwarf away on a stretcher?
There's one other person like at the foot of the stretcher leading the way, and then Preston's at the back.
Gotcha. But they're not taking
so
him to a hospital as far as we can tell.
no, it doesn't seem like there's much urgency here.
Love that.
They're just getting rid of him, basically.
Love that.
You know,
Also,
hospital is a
now
great
I'm
place to find
imagining-
drug trials.
Just because you said you have Heelys, I'm just imagining Preston wearing Heelys now.
Yeah. Just leans back and starts rolling, yeah. But yeah, this other cleric who looks to be, you want to say he's a teenager, but he looks like he's seen a lot. He looks like he's probably half elven, probably wood elven. Again, like super short, shorn hair, a little bit of a peach fuzz beard going on. He's got some strong shoulders just from doing this job, and he picks up the end of the stretcher after the dwarf is like loaded on. He's in like a makeshift back brace that was really not put together with much care. And at the moment he's sort of passed out just from sheer pain. And this teenager starts leading the way out of the Undercroft tunnels. He takes you guys away from where you came in. Let me grab my map here. So you guys came in at Hartstead Square. There's a public entrance to the Undercroft there. This kid leads you a little bit further east, sort of in the Smokeway direction, underground. And you eventually reach the tunnels become sort of narrower and less street-like. In fact, they remind you more and more of like an underground sewer system that maybe was built over to become like a traversal area. And you occasionally pass people just walking through. Like this is a normal route to go in if you can't afford like the Nexus teleportation costs. And he eventually leads you up a set of stairs that takes you into the edge of Smokeway. Right sort of on the main street separating the Obsidia Ward from Smokeway itself. You guys cross the main street, and he goes into this sort of slum-looking area where you see there's this huge building with several signs on it. Some are for apartments and flats and whatnot. There are a couple very small businesses tucked into this place. And then one at the very end of the row just says Undertaker. And this kid leads you up to the side of the Undertaker's shop and sets down the stretcher in the like yard where they do their like woodworking and whatnot. But he sort of sets his end down, just sort of like does the like dusting off his hands thing. And he looks down at the dwarf. He looks at you, Preston, and he says, "Help me get him off."
What about, what about Heelys?
You got money for him?
I have kindness.
I mean, if you want to heal him for free, go for it, but I need my stretcher back.
All right. And I will do a second level cure wounds on him.
Okay.
So that's going to be 2d8 plus 3. So 5. Oh, fuck. 5 and a 1. So 6 plus 3 for 9 hit points to this dude.
Well, luckily, this dude is a normal ass dude. He's got probably about 10 hit points total. So he's not fully healed, and it's gonna take some time to like get over the majority of this injury, like some physical therapy and that kind of stuff. But you cast your spell over him. What does your cure wounds look like?
So when you go to see like a superhero movie and somebody has like super healing, that it's almost like they got injured in reverse. That's what it looks like for him.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, the blood doesn't go away. The blood is still there, but like when it's wiped off, like the wounds have healed up, like they just kind of like fold back together and heal like time is reversing on them.
Okay. So you all hear some very sickening pops from this dwarf's back, as well as several smaller wounds and cuts knitting closed before your eyes. And slowly, very carefully, this dwarf sits up on his own. And he just sort of coming awake and realizing that he's moving under his own power, he bursts into just ugly tears. Just snot all in his beard and his mustache, within just a few seconds. And he looks up and he sees you, Preston, still with like your hands over him. And he grabs onto one of your hands, up to you which one he gets hold of, and just starts thanking you profusely, just going on, like, just stars bless you, just the evening star look upon you. Thank you, thank you so much.
Evening star.
You all know Hesperus is just like a god, right?
Yeah.
We love that lady though so much.
This is the old bitch. Now that she's in a new body.
Star look upon you. But no, he's just crying into you at this point.
It's a no problem. This is so this little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I'm just glad I could do something nice.
And he like pulls back and he's just like wiping snot and tears away. He's like, I'll pay you back. I'll find a way. What's your name? Where can I send money?
My name is the nearest orphanage, and they could probably use it more than me.
It just falls apart.
Oh my God.
And the cleric kid has kind of nudged the dwarf off his stretcher, rolled it up, and has started to walk away.
So Taiylor, real quick about the cleric the cleric kid who's going
cleric
away.
Turner.
Just so I see the area here. Is this area basically deserted except for us?
No. Smokeway is, even though this part of Smokeway is sort of like, it's poor. It's very poor. There are plenty of people here. This is where like the poor working class live.
Gotcha.
So there's enough people around. Like, it's not bustling because everybody's at work. But you definitely do see the Undertaker like poke his head out a window, just like looking at what's happening. Okay. But he doesn't interfere.
And then just to clarify, this is weird, right? That they're bringing this dwarf to a different like area of the city, specifically Smokeway, to an Undertaker, even though the dwarf is still alive.
Oh,
well,
100%.
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird?
I do. In fact, Damian goes uninvisible. Wait, no. He goes uninvisible. He's no longer invisible. And I open the Undertaker's door.
Oh, okay. Good thing it's a shop. You can just walk right in.
Yep.
But yeah, you hear a little, as you push the this not doing so hot wooden door open. But the interior is surprisingly nice because it's full of handmade wooden furniture. Because the Undertaker is a carpenter. But you see the Undertaker, who was poking his head like out a window, like trying to see what's going on. You see him at the back of the room behind his like counter, still looking out, trying to see what all the fuss is about. And he's this very, very tall, extremely like skeletal thin, classic scary Undertaker man, who looks like he's been around for about 8,000 years. Um, but he's like very wiry and he is human. Um, the interior of the shop is full of beautifully handmade wooden furniture as well as display caskets. Some are just a simple like wooden coffin in the classic coffin shape, and others are these huge works of art with like metal trim and careful carving all over them. And there's funeral setups on display and that kind of thing. But he doesn't seem to notice the bell. He's too busy staring at your friends outside.
Um, does the interior of this shop kind of strike a contrast to the quality of wealth outside of the shop? Like, does it seem like this is someone who might be living above their means for the area that they're in?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, okay.
It's not like egregious. There's not like gold and silver everywhere, but this is the shop of a very successful craftsman, and death is an industry that never goes away.
Okay.
He looks like he could easily do business in like East Tap, which is much richer, sort of like the upper middle class. But yeah, he just has all this beautiful work in a really dingy, rundown building in Smokeway.
Because I got a nat 20 on stealth, can I use that to come in behind Damian and like kind of keep out of sight?
Don't know that Damian went in there. He was invisible.
No, I went uninvisible and then I went inside. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna listen but stay hidden.
Yeah. The Undertaker has not noticed the door, even the bell.
Business seems to be good.
And he immediately like straightens up to his full like 6'6", and reaches up to like fiddle with the tie he's got on. He looks like. Do you guys remember the Pixar short with the old man playing chess against himself?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a sharp version of that man.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
No, he looks like a mean, like sharp version of that guy. Like not the gentle, soft old man. He looks more like. God, there's an Undertaker in a movie.
I think that you might be thinking of the tall man from Phantasm.
I've never seen that, but anyway,
I'm thinking of the guy who's going to the asylum owner in Beauty and the Beast, who's going to take Belle's father.
The asylum owner. Yeah,
that's who I thought.
That's who I'm going for.
Yeah.
Yes, he wasn't an Undertaker. He was the asylum guy.
He looked like an Undertaker.
He had the voice of that guy who's like, "How dastardly, I love it." Yeah. But he turns and like straightens his tie. He's got like a nice brown vest on, black slacks, and like leather shoes. And he turns, adjusts like little glasses on his face. He's like, may I help you, sir?
Yeah.
I noticed a group outside. Are they with you?
Kind of.
How may I help?
We just came from... Where did we just come from?
You came from the Plaza de Monin fighting pits.
Okay. We just came from the Plaza de Monin fighting pits. They just brought an injured but very much alive dwarf here.
Did you bring payment?
For what?
For the dwarf.
For what?
His burial? I assume that's why you brought him.
He was alive.
Well, yes, but how much longer can he last if you brought him here?
Insight check. Is he deflecting?
Meanwhile, Preston's like holding this crying dwarf.
I get to go home to me mom.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Constanos is fucked. Like 100%.
A little bit, yeah.
Constanos is just America.
Yeah, I was about to say Taylor's making a very not so subtle commentary on American healthcare.
I was going for industrial London plus America, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's great, right?
This is
so insight check. What are you inciting?
I want to see if he's deflecting purposefully, or if he literally, if this is just business as usual, or it's like, yeah, they bring the almost dead here, and then they die, and then that's just more money for me. That's
okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
I love that, Mary.
I do too.
I have to remember if I have any extra bonuses.
It makes you look very happy.
It's cute.
It is like the perfect size.
10 plus 10, 20.
Okay. This seems to you like business as usual. In that he is confused as to why you're not up on what he's talking about. But you also get the idea that he's starting to realize you're not who he thinks you are.
Interesting. Okay. I think Damian has been in shitty enough places in the world that it's starting to maybe click for him a little bit that this is actually just someone taking advantage of a situation. Love that. Okay. No, I don't have payment for you because a good Samaritan healed the dwarf right outside the front door.
Oh, well, good for him.
So why
are you here?
So you have a deal worked out with the Plaza de Monin then, don't you, for business?
Yes, or rather, well, I wouldn't say it's specifically with the Plaza de Monin, because of course that would be illegal. But there are medics who work down in the Undercroft who see many people injured every day for various reasons, and if someone can't afford to treat their injuries, I am the next step if they can't recover on their own.
So you wait for them to recover on their own outside your doorstep?
Well, I didn't ask for that part. It's rather grisly.
How many people out in the street right now are there recovering before you get your due?
Are you a police officer, sir?
Worse.
I was just gonna say worse.
Do you have a warrant?
I don't need one.
Then I don't need to answer your questions.
Is there a back room?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm nat 20. I'm just gonna.
I like to imagine, and Ben, you can say no to this. I like to imagine Damian sees Todd doing this, but the Undertaker is completely fucking unaware, so Damian just sees Todd just toddle back there. Toddle. Todd toddles.
While Todd does that, Damian is just moving back towards the front door, but I want to see what Ben does first before I say what Damian does.
But yeah, there's sort of like, so this is a big rectangular room, and a smaller rectangle of it is separated by a wall, and there's a single door leading into it. And there is a back door as well near that window. Where you going, buddy?
Todd.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Where am I going? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So you're approaching
sorry,
the door?
I thought you were still talking to Todd. Or to what's his fuck? Damian.
Okay. So yeah, the door as you get up to it, It does have a keyhole, but you notice the door is kind of sitting off kilter. It's probably not latched.
So is there just a door to the back rooms, or is there like a basement,
You
or is
don't
there anything
see a
that's
way
open?
down. You just see this door, and then the door that leads outside to the backyard.
Okay. Um, if I get behind, I'm assuming the door is behind the Undertaker.
Yeah, it's behind the counter. He's up at the
Okay.
counter talking to Damian.
Is there anything behind the counter, like on the underside, like any shelves with stuff or anything like that?
Yeah. There are some ledgers. You notice plenty of wood chisels and hammers. Um, you notice even some stonemason's tools, so he probably does headstones as well.
Mm,
And then samples of different woods and stone. And then what looks to be a sizable-ish lockbox. It's maybe
okay.
that.
I am going to hide on the backside of the counter, like maybe tucked back in a corner in one of those shelves or something. And I'm gonna wait for Damien to leave, but I am gonna cast Mage Hand, and I'm gonna rest it against the door,
Okay.
and I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damian opens the door, looks, and sees Todd and Ezra.
No, Preston and
Preston.
Ezra.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus, we're
Preston
doing
and
well.
Ezra. Yeah, it's been a long month, guys.
It's okay. It's been a long life.
Yeah, for real. It's Wednesday, lemon.
Ah.
I look out and I see Preston and Ezra. Damian
And a crying
just
dwarf.
yeah, and Damian just goes like this. Ezra,
Yeah.
I need your help.
Great.
Preston.
Preston is currently consoling the dwarf. He's just like, it's okay. You just go back to your mum. You pay it forward. It's fine. I'm just doing this to be nice. It's.
I'll be able to feed my son dinner.
Yes, you will. And,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's gonna be great.
That's enough.
Just-
That's enough. I nudge this dwarf with my foot.
He
No more
falls over
fighting.
and passes out.
No more fighting.
Um,
Damian, yes.
Preston.
Where's Todd?
I assume he's in there.
Has the door shut?
Has it? Did Damian let it shut?
Right now. I'm just looking out the door at these guys.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm waiting. I'm holding my action until the door shuts.
Uh-oh.
It's probably better if both of you come in here.
Right.
Okay.
For the sake of not
Man, your
leaving.
face.
For the sake
That
of
was
not
so
leaving people out
subtle.
of here.
Just went from yay to
If it helps,
God.
if it helps, this was my plan before I knew that Todd was waiting for the door to close.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, that was so great to witness that in real
I didn't
time.
even know I did it.
Yeah, it was so subtle.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah.
Yeah. For the sake of not leaving people out, both of you should
choice.
probably come inside.
Right. I just start following him in.
Mhm.
Send the dwarf on his own.
He's passed out on the ground.
All right.
That's fine. Everything
Or
comes
never
full
said.
circle.
The Undertaker's inside, like, finally.
Good for business.
Is everyone in?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool. You said the door is not in the best of shape, right?
Nope.
Cool. But there's some pretty nice furniture in here that is.
Very.
Interesting. Cool. Is there one of those signs that you can flip that says we're open and we're closed?
Yes.
I've always wanted to do this. Damian closes the door behind the three of us, well, four, because Todd's in here, and flips that sign. And then...
The moment... Oh, okay.
No, then the next thing that I'm going to do is just drag a heavy piece of furniture in front of the door from our side.
Okay,
Oh,
so you
God.
pull like a solid oak casket in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
This is like ominous.
The
At least if he
moment
dies here, you'll have a place to put him.
Yep.
the moment the door closes, I'm gonna use the mage hand to push
Okay,
and
the
see if
back
the door gives.
Yeah, it drifts open.
Does it squeak? Doesn't do anything weird?
Yeah, it does squeak a little.
But there's a of
Yeah.
like a casket
Yeah,
being
and
dragged across the floor.
The Undertaker is standing behind the counter. Like, Todd, you can like see his ankles, and like you're right next to him. He watches this, and you just hear very audible, like hard swallow as he steeples his fingers in front of him and says, what exactly are you doing?
While he's dragging that furniture, because that's probably gonna take a second. Is it?
Yeah, probably a good
I'm gonna
6 seconds. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to time it perfectly where I use my mage hand to move that locked box and just like drop it into my bag of holding.
Your
Just
bag of
push it.
holding is way too small for that.
Oh. Can I use the mage hand to try to open it instead?
It is locked.
Can I pick it? Can I pick the lock?
I don't
Yeah,
think
you can try.
Is Mage Hand able to pick locks?
If you
Yes.
have
Okay.
lock picks in the hand.
I have
Or
thieves
Matthew
tools.
Mercer. Yes.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
proficient in thieves' tools?
Yes, I'm proficient in thieves' tools, but not expertise.
That's okay.
Okay.
Go for
So
it.
it'd be sleight of hand plus proficiency. Yeah. Because I don't have proficiency in sleight of hand. So
It'd just be sleight of hand.
is it?
Hold
Well,
on.
no, hold on. If you're proficient with your thieves tools, then you would roll. It's just Dex plus your proficiency bonus. Then.
Dex
Okay.
proficiency.
Which
yeah.
would be
Yep.
my sleight of hand plus proficiency because I'm not proficient in sleight of hand.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it.
Okay, so that's going to be a 26.
Easy. This is a basic ass lock. You
Okay.
pop it open silently. This is also a very nice, like solid steel lockbox. It has like insulation and everything, so it's fireproof. Inside, you'll be able to see that there is a pretty hefty amount of coin, separated into like their own little things, little cups. And then there is a stack of what look to be like invoices, and a small like leather pocketbook in there.
Okay. I'm going to take the leather pocketbook and the invoices and put them into my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they're having this conversation, I am one by one, I'm going to start with the platinum if there are any, and I'm going to work my way down. And I'm just going to keep adding them into the just pick one up with the beak, drop it in the thing. Pick it up, drop it in.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. What's everybody else doing?
Preston is standing there concerned about why we're flipping the sign to closed and dragging a presumably 400-pound oak coffin, casket in front of the door.
Yeah. Damian's doing that all by himself. I love how innocent and sweet Preston is, where he's like, why are we locking ourselves in here with this lost man?
I actually, just for shits and giggles, kind of want to see what Preston and Ezra do before I do anything next.
I think Ezra is just kind of like looking very like, really, we're doing this. Like,
The Undertaker is just nervously like fidgeting with his tie.
Hey, Day, are we really jumping right to like extreme torture in this situation? I think there are some steps in between that we can take.
I'm sorry, extreme what?
No, don't worry about it. The parents are talking. We can do something, a little less extreme, don't you think?
He's like looking at the back door, like not the one Todd is trying to get into, but the back door to the yard, and like you can see him like inching toward it.
I'm good. No, am I gonna do weird things here?
Yeah, Ezra, kick off the extreme
Wait, do
torture.
I don't think I have. I don't think I have what I wanted prepared.
What race is he?
He is human.
He's
human.
An
old human man.
Interesting. Does he just? I mean, by all accounts, is he just a regular guy?
As far as you can tell.
As far as I can tell. Okay. Well, there's a good way to actually find out if someone is just a regular guy, if they're human.
Punch him in the solar plexus.
So I don't want him to
if they explode, they're regular.
Yeah, so I don't want him to reach the back door. So because of that, I am going to cast a spell, but it's a racial thing. Okay. Let me just roll these dice real quick.
Harvard.
Oh, that's a good start. That's a good second. Okay, now we're not rolling.
Come here, buddy.
That was 4 8. Jesus Christ. Does he have 39 hit points or less?
He sure fucking doesn't.
Is he...
Sleep.
Wait, he has more than 39?
No, he is way less.
Oh, okay. Is he immune to sleep?
No.
He's asleep now. I used sleep.
Oh. I was just gonna do calm emotions, but sure.
He starts inching toward the door, and he's like, I believe I do have customers. He just falls on the floor.
I just go
it's
walk.
Definitely a broken hip.
I'm gonna go block the back door too.
Okay.
There is a want to go for the back door, yeah.
You want to go explaining like what the plan is here, Chief?
At the very least, this is a criminal who's in with, working with a gang.
Welcome to half of Constanos.
But he also might know something about the boiling fever, and that is what we're here to ask about.
And then you put him to sleep.
But we're not going to torture him, right?
I don't think so.
It didn't quite... He doesn't seem like a nice man now that you told me that, but...
This is only going to last a minute, so does someone want to help me barricade this back door so that when he wakes up, we can ask him questions?
Sure.
Todd will quickly, since he hit the ground and he's asleep, I'm quickly going to turn the lockbox over and dump the rest of it back into my bag.
Do that.
I'm going to shut it and put it back, and then I'm going to jump up on the counter and slap the pocketbook down and the invoices and be like, there you go. Got it.
With the 30 seconds that I have left before this guy wakes up, can I
actually have a timer going.
Can I start just paging through the first few pages of that to see if there's anything suspicious looking?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the back room.
Preston is trying to slide a coffin up against the back door.
I like the idea that Preston can't, but Damian can.
Right.
I'm preparing a spell for when he wakes up.
Okay. So in the about 30 seconds that you have, Damian, you page through. Do you focus on the pocketbook or the invoices?
At first glance, looking at the pocketbook, does it look to be like a personal journal kind of thing?
No, it is a pocketbook, like one you would have in like your front pocket. It seems to be like shorthand notes.
Okay, definitely that.
Okay. So in about 30 seconds, you can get through a few pages, and it does take you a minute to decipher what he's writing because he seems to have his own version of shorthand. But the first thing you notice is that the front of every page is a list of what seem to be initials, abbreviation for race, age, and then what seems to be like causes of death, and then a gold or platinum amount. On the back of each page, there are there is like an address at the top of the page, and then there are numbers that correspond to each person. You don't know what they are, but it's like
Probably not phone numbers.
Number 197 corresponds to this dead dwarf. Number 486 at this address corresponds to this dead elf.
Question.
They don't seem to be house numbers.
If I compare humans to the rest of the races, do I see any difference in the payment amount next to those?
You do notice there are a lot more humans.
Okay.
The payment amounts don't seem to vary.
Okay.
They vary by size, so like a Goliath, way more expensive.
Is there
halfling, way less.
Is there any mention of the Boeing fever or related symptoms in any of the causes of death?
Among the causes of death, you mostly see like injuries.
Okay.
And then occasionally you will see like one that just says starvation or pneumonia. You do, however, notice next to several humans the abbreviation BF.
Boyfriend.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
This man was a trollop. He dated every single one of these people.
That's exactly what
right.
I was inferring. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's keeping track of that's what I'm inferring right now, is he's keeping track of the bodies that were dropped off and how much he got paid for them.
But by the time you gather all that information, he does start to wake up. And he like starts to push himself up and touches his head because he's got a little bit of a lump going on.
As soon as he does that, I'm gonna cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
It's a charisma save.
Should have done it while he was sleeping.
Well, I didn't want to waste any time. It lasts 10 minutes.
That's going to be a big old 3.
Yeah, fuck that. Who else is standing in his proximity?
I'm in the back room.
I'm at the back door.
How big is the proximity?
The proximity is 15 feet.
Is Todd in the back room, or is he still unloading that register?
Oh, he dumped it out, and he was spending that last 30 seconds going into the back room to look at things and see what's back there.
Okay, is anybody else in the radius of this thing? Willingly?
I mean, is it a 15-foot radius?
Yes.
How big is the shop?
Maybe like 30 by 15?
So all of us would be in it then.
Yeah, that's probably everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Charisma save.
It's probably a little bigger, but whatever. I'm not going to
say
measure.
charisma save.
I'll willingly fail just because I feel like it would
boy.
be too big of a
Truth
pain.
or dare?
Yeah, oh no, not truth or dare again.
4.
17.
23.
Everyone saves except for Day.
Now, just so I'm reminded of how Zone of Truth works, I can plead the 5th, right? Like, I just can't.
You don't have to speak.
I don't
but if
have
you
to
do
say
speak,
anything,
it
but if I
must
do.
be the truth.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I go over to this guy.
Yeah, he's like still holding the side of his head, and he's looking up at you with absolute like fucking like, is it money you want? You can take anything you like.
The spell that was just cast on you. I look over at Ezra. I'm like, it compels him to tell the truth, right?
Not really a compulsion per
He
se.
can't lie.
Yeah.
Cool. So if he says something, it has to be truthful.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Yeah, that spell is affecting me right now too. We're pretty close to God, my stupid mouse. Hold on. We're pretty close to the old Quarry Lake, aren't we? From here. It's just right across the way from the Guild Walk.
A walk, yes.
Yeah, but we're close enough that you heard about the copycat butcher.
Yes, I buried some of his victims.
Mm-hmm. I buried him.
What a Roy Kent thing to say. Yeah, he's already very pale. He gets a little paler, and he like swallows hard, and he's like, um, what exactly do you want?
There are a lot of desperate people getting very sick in Smokeway. There's a lot of desperate people being dropped off at your door, still alive, and then dying. Do you know anything about how the Boeing fever is being spread and where a source for it might be?
I assume, like most people do, that it's somewhere in Smokeway. I don't know where it comes from. All I know is it's good for business.
Hmm. And you're working with the Plaza Demonin to help get rid of their
Well,
people who can't pay, right?
And you can see he's struggling because he's trying to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he says, I am paid by interested parties.
No, you're good. You can stop.
And yeah,
So you don't have any idea how these people are contracting this disease?
all I know is most of them are poor. Anyone can get Boeing fever, any human, I suppose, but only the poor seem to die from it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Who are these interested parties that are paying you?
The Plaza Demonin.
If I told you that, I could be killed.
Okay, I will. Obviously, I believe you.
Cool. I think we're done here.
Wait,
Okay, never mind.
if only the poor seem to die from it, where do the rich people get treated?
Well, the Constantinian Board of Health has
Of
sponsors a
fucking
number
course.
of hospitals around the city. They're all managed by the Board of Health. There are paupers hospitals as well, but they lack the expertise and the staff.
Let me rephrase. Who treats the rich people? Rich people don't go to hospitals. They have people come to them.
Well, of course, there are private physicians.
Any of them that you think might be a little bit more knowledgeable on how to fix this?
I mean, if. Let me say this. I understand what you're all getting at. The money is in the treatments, not a cure. No one cares about curing this.
Except rich people.
Actually, Preston, I think he's saying the rich people don't want to cure it.
The rich suffer days, weeks at most. The poor die. I am paid to make sure bodies don't pile up and cause a different health crisis.
If someone outside your door doesn't end up in one of these, and I knock on one of the coffins that's in here, say they get better enough that you don't need to bury them, but they're not well enough to go back to their old lives. Where do those desperate people go?
Usually the quarry, if they can work, the underground, if they have money to gamble, or they go to some charitable institution or debtor's prison. I have seen, and you can see, I imagine, how long does Zone of Truth last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. You can see him starting to just accept that he can't lie to you. And also realizing, oh shit, if I tell these people things, they might not kill me. Um, and so he sort of straightens himself up a little bit, and he says, I have had a number of people who are still moderately able-bodied who find jobs at factories here in Smokeway that can work with their disabilities. And I often see those people again months later. Dead.
Which factories?
Several.
I rip out a blank page from his notebook. Actually, no, I just take the notebook out and just put it down to a blank page, and I give him a writing utensil, and I say, write them down.
He just starts listing every factory he can think of.
Interesting.
Is there anything you're looking out for in particular?
Yeah.
Like
so
a detail?
I guess so. Actually, you know what? I'll do this a different way. Looking at the recent dead people from that pocketbook. I want to find the last 3 or 4 humans that died from Boeing fever and ask what factories they worked at.
Okay. He would be able to write down I don't have names for them at this very moment.
That's fair.
But he would be able to tell you that 2 of them did not work at factories. They were farmhands out in Arentha, east of Smokeway.
Okay.
Which is just on the other side of the wall from Smokeway. The other 2, actually no, I do have a factory that they can be at. The other 2 worked at a hull-drawn canning company factory.
Okay. And then the last thing I want to ask about is the weird names and numbers section of the pocketbook. I'm going to ask about that specifically. What do these numbers mean?
They're plot numbers.
Oh.
If I keep track of them, because many of these people are left here with no identification. Sometimes I don't have names. And if someone comes looking for them, I can show them where they are. Typically missing investigations and so on.
Okay. I want to do one more thing. This will be the last thing. Taiylor, do you think that if I just wasn't even really paying attention to the page, but if I just flipped through the book 1 page at a time pretty quickly, but enough so that I linger on 1 page for just half a second, that I could get through the entire pocketbook in a minute?
Yeah, it's not a big book.
Cool. I am going to hit my watch, and I am going to record a minute of me going through each page of the pocketbook so that I can review it later.
You can absolutely do that.
Yep.
Just be aware, you can only have 1 recording saved at a time.
I know.
Okay, just make sure.
But it'd be really, really easy for me to copy down that information later.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm
I
just
should
gonna.
also mention it does allow you to pause recording, so you absolutely can.
Love that. Yep. So I'll take a minute to just go through that real quick. Is there anything fishy about the invoices, or does it seem like that matches up pretty well with what we see in the pocketbook?
They do match up with the pocketbook, but there is no like to person. It doesn't list a person who is paying. It just says paid.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that section's left blank.
Interesting. Cool. All right, I do that. I'm done. I hand him back the pocketbook.
I'm going to say by this point, Zone of Truth goes away.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, Todd.
Yes, Todd.
While they were doing all of this, I was in the
Yeah.
back room looking around. Did I find anything? What's
You
back
found
there?
lots of stuff. You found spare lumber, spare tools, and a stairway going down.
Well, obviously, I'm going to take that stairway immediately.
Yeah. You descend below the building, and there is a heavy, heavy steel door down there, with a sort of like latch bar. It's not locked, just heavy and definitely meant to insulate the interior.
Can I lift the latch with the mage hand?
No.
Can I lift the latch with myself?
How do you get up there?
I hop on the mage hand and float up.
The mage hand can only carry 5 pounds.
No, I know.
It does not
I know.
support you enough.
I was trying to get around it.
Nope.
What if I...
You know what could generate enough force to probably lift that up?
A fireball?
A fire.
Is the goose down here?
He
No,
follows
he
you
didn't come
everywhere.
with me. Oh, so I have goose?
Sure, Gustav's
Tell
there.
him to lift it.
Geese are pretty strong. And he is a paladin.
It's a geese paladin.
Canonically.
Yeah.
Let me do a couple checks for him.
Okay.
First, let's do an intelligence check to see if he can figure out how to get leverage and actually be able to reach that and pick it up. Hot damn, Gustav. All right. So he ends up just like kind of fly jumping his way up to the like latch where the bar sits in it.
Mhm.
And he kind of like gets his little web toe claws in there and he grabs onto the bar with his beak. And now for a strength check.
I'm going to use the mage hand to assist him, to at least give him 5 pounds of leverage.
You don't even need to because he
Oh.
rips the latch off the door.
Yes.
That was a natural 20.
Holy shit.
He just straight up
Damn.
like lifts the latch bar, it goes flying across the room, and he just goes, "Brother, I have succeeded."
Yes. Good, brother. Now we can go inside this
Yeah.
steel sanctuary.
He like kicks the door open for you and bows as you go past.
Yes. To you as well.
You walk into what is essentially a mortuary.
Ooh.
Down here, sort of a, you know how the modern mortuaries have like the walls of lockers that bodies are stored on in drawers?
Mhm.
This is sort of like an old-timey version of that, where it's more like alcoves with bodies stacked in them on shelves. There is a distinct cold down here that you're not sure how it's maintained. There are some bodies down here that are like post being prepared for burial. There's not a whole lot of like autopsies and what's the word for when you pump somebody full of chemicals so they don't rot?
Embalming.
There's not really embalming going down here. So there's just people stored until their coffins are finished, essentially. There's not a whole lot of them, but there's definitely mostly humans. And you do see on a central table, there is a person covered by a sheet.
Are there any trinkets on the walls or any like shelves with stuff? Anything that catches my eye?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. 4.
this room is extremely like bare and Spartan.
Okay.
The only things you notice that you could probably like grab are the autopsy tools that sit like on a shelf against the wall.
Okay. Um, do I see any source of cold, like if it's coming down from the ceiling, or does it just seem to be coming from like the walls?
From what you can tell, the floor is extremely cold.
Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna hop up. I'm gonna mage hand myself up into the center table, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
rip the sheet off and see
The
who's
whole
under
thing?
there. The whole thing.
All right, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, you just take it off. The white sheet just drifts to the ground, spattered in little blood spots. And revealed before you is, whoops, sorry, I hit my microphone. Revealed before you is a younger woman, probably like no older than 17, completely bare, with eyes that have been rotted out completely, and like it looks like they've been eaten by acid,
Hmm.
streaks of blood and viscera going down the sides of her face and like down the front from when she was actually like upright. Um, you also notice that her mouth is slightly sitting open. You notice she's missing several like pieces of tooth. It looks like somebody went in and took out crowns that are mostly made of like precious metals in
Hmm.
this time period. She has no clothing, no jewelry. The only like markings you see on her are like some old scars and a tattoo in sort of the uh hollow of her shoulder here. That appears to be like some kind of rune. Um, but she has like long dark hair that has been like pulled back into a ponytail. Um, but yeah, her eyes are gone and the sort of skin around her eyes, like going back, just spider-webbed veins, black going back into her hair.
If I get really close, this is gonna be so gross. If I get really close and like look into these rotted parts of her eyes or like
Mm-hmm.
the veins under her skin, do I notice anything odd about them? Like, do the veins look like they stick out? Is there like anything in the eyes that looks like it was eating it? Or is it like, I guess, does it look like it's been bored out by like, like a worm eats an apple or something?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it look like it's been disintegrating, or does it look like something else?
Make a medicine check. I'm gonna say with advantage.
Okay. Where's medicine? Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna use a luck point.
Flash of genius.
I wish. I fucking wish. You know how many times I've looked at this and wanted to do a flash of genius?
Yeah, it's the best artificer ability. Just like passing
17.
ability. Uh, so yeah, you get close and like look in, and thank God this room is so cold because otherwise it would smell a lot.
Hmm.
Um, what you notice is that the sort of blackened veins, you realize the veins didn't turn black. They disintegrated and the blood rotted out of them. So they're just
Hmm.
slowly spreading out.
Okay.
You also notice that there's like, as you get into her hairline, it looks like bruising, but what it really is blood under the skin that has like ruptured, like across her head and her scalp. And you start to notice some like on the sides of her neck near like the vein and the artery as well, like blood just starting to seep out. Um, and just in the time you're watching this, you notice some of the like little blood spots grow a little more. It's not like happening super fast, but you do notice like, oh, that spot's a little bigger than it used to be. But the actual eye sockets, the entirety of the eyes, except for maybe little bits of the white sclera and the actual like connective tissue at the back, have completely been eaten away. It looks like acid eating away at like living tissue. There's like this foamy, gross, like black and red goop just pooled in the back of the eye sockets that is like this acid like pooling as it just eats further and further. Um, so there's like actually some infected blood sitting there in the eye sockets. But what you're noticing is that at the very back, the flesh is starting to rot away to the point where you can see bone in the back of the eye sockets.
Oh.
But yeah, this to you straight up looks like acid eating a person from inside their veins. And it seemed to be very, very fucking effective inside their eyes, particularly.
So it's actually eating away the flesh and leaving the blood. It's not eating the blood and then leaving the flesh behind.
It seems to rot the blood and eat the flesh.
Okay.
From what you can tell, it looks like, yeah, the blood has kind of been left behind, but it's rotting and like evaporating.
Okay. Ew, gross.
Right?
Which probably means that it's contagious. Thankfully, none of us are human. So I'm just gonna send up on the telepathic bond, to everybody. Well, the telepathic speaking that I have.
Yes.
I'm just gonna send up to everybody and be like, "Oh, I found one of your Boeing fever victims down here. She looks sort of fresh."
I sprint down there.
You find a ruined door and a very proud goose and a dead lady.
Seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
I think that Damian might actually almost come across as like, not like obviously, but oddly excited. Because he has the opportunity. He has the opportunity to examine what the Boeing fever does in person, which is something that he definitely was like on his list of like things I need to do to figure out the case. So Damian is going to take the old college try at this and use his medical knowledge to see if there's anything new he can learn about the Boeing fever by examining one of its victims.
Okay. I mean, you'll immediately come up with everything Todd has said, or Todd has learned.
Right. I'm mostly just like, Damian is trained in medicine, and even though people in Constanos have looked at the Boeing fever, his concern is that there's information being kept from them about the Boeing fever by the Board of Health. And so he's like, I don't know that maybe what we're learning about the Boeing fever isn't 100% accurate, and maybe if we wanted to look at a body, they'd be like, no, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So he wants to use this opportunity to get like, what does Damian think about the Boeing fever? What does he learn about it by examining one of its victims as opposed to getting this knowledge secondhand? Does that make sense?
Yes. So the first thing that strikes you is this disease very clearly started in the eyes. It's the most ruined part of the whole body. And it's been traveling downward where you're seeing the like blood pooling around the neck. You don't see like vein damage anywhere else below that. You do notice, just given what Damian knows, having investigated many, many murders and caused many himself, you would assume that this girl died within the past 48 hours.
Jesus.
Which tells you that either this disease has been eating at her for a very long time, or once she died, it went fucking haywire.
Okay.
And considering you can see blood spreading under her skin,
I would assume
it seems like it's still actively eating her, and it's getting faster.
Okay. What I have a hold on.
Sorry for the body horror, everybody.
That's okay.
We're
Doesn't
gonna get
bother
one
me.
of two types of body horror today.
So I have a couple.
Might still have time for the second one.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting that image now, I think what Damian wants to do is just take he has a few different kits, herbalism kit, poisoner's kit. I would assume that I would be able to just like take some blood to keep
absolutely.
in my own vial to study later. So I'm gonna do that.
There are also like autopsy tools there, so even if you didn't have a kit, you'd still have access to the tools you need.
Yeah, Damian just wants to grab, I'm gonna say 2 vials of blood.
One from each eye.
Yep. One to study and one to use against any humans that we run into along the way that we don't like.
Yeah.
That might be a joke.
Ethical.
All right, Noah. Maybe you should go toss it into a cistern full of blood and see what happens.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god, what would that do?
Well, see, so here's the thing. Is the whole time we've been doing this, I've been suspecting that this is the Almatum.
Oh, interesting.
But it doesn't eat the blood. If it was Almatum, the plant would be filling the veins, and that's not what's happening. So something else is happening.
Yeah.
Almatum does drink blood, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see Preston get terrorized, so at this point, I'm good. I'm just gonna go up, and Damian has enough stuff to work on the rest of the day that he can just move on to the next plot point.
Does Ezra come down and take a look at all, or does he like, no, I'm not going down there?
No, yeah, absolutely not. I'm just chilling with my new friend up here, Mr. Undertaker.
Yeah, he's petrified.
No, Ezra actually does sit down, like sit cross-legged and be like, okay, so while they're away, do we want to play a little party game? We can do like a little truth or dare or something if you want to.
Zone of truth or dare?
Yeah.
And if you
we did this in campaign 1.
Oh my god, homebrew spell, Zone of Dare.
Oh god.
He is just staring at you like you're fucking insane, and he's like, will that make you not kill me?
Oh, I don't think we're gonna kill you anyway.
If you have more questions, just ask them.
Okay. Who was your first kiss?
He like goes to laugh, but then he's like, my wife, Irene?
Oh my god. Really? That's adorable. Your first kiss was your wife? Are you like one of those people who is just like, I'm not gonna fuck around with people. I'm waiting for the one. That kind of person.
I mean, we were 15.
Oh my god, high school sweethearts. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay.
I'm so scared and confused right now. I'm building a backstory for this man.
Yeah.
Ezra's writing a fanfic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's adorable. You're so cute.
We got married when I was 20. What more do you want?
No, I don't want anything.
Why are you asking me these questions?
Because I'm just trying to get to know you. What's your name?
Irene, are you?
No! Oh my god! We're in Zone of Truth. I'm not gonna hurt your wife. Why would I do that?
Zone of Truth is gone.
Is it?
Did you recast it again? Okay.
I'll cast it again.
We're never gonna get to Preston's thing.
Damian and Todd would appear at that point, and Damian would be like, I do want something. I'm keeping these. And I'll hold up the 2 vials of blood. You can keep your business. I'll pocket the vials. And then I'm gonna hold out my arm to Preston. Can I have my sword?
I'm just gonna give it back to him.
Cool.
A little cautiously.
A little cautious. And then Damian will just be like, and we were never here. And immediately after I say that, I'm going to telepathically ask the mimic to turn back into my arm. but it's gonna do like a mimicky form first, and it'll like crawl across Damian's body.
Yeah.
And then form the arm at the end, and I want as much teeth to show as possible while that happens.
Yeah. So a little like horrible like Lovecraftian morph or whatever his name is.
Morph.
Yeah.
Just slides off of the sword. Just teeth dragging down the blade. And it's almost like the teeth like keep tucking in and growing back out and tucking back in as it climbs across Damian. And finally it just sinks its teeth into his upper arm and then slowly extends out into the actual arm. And there's like one more ripple before it all settles back into solid form. And this man passes the fuck out.
I rolled a 23 to resist the second zone of truth, by the way.
I rolled a 25 to resist it.
Cool.
You're good. Day.
I wasn't there when you cast it. I was
Well, when you step into it, you have to...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, so when you said we were never here... Yeah, when you said we were never here, you couldn't say that, so...
Well, it's not... Technically, that way is not a lie. That is a suggestion.
Yeah. That wasn't me saying we weren't here.
I
that
think
was
that's
me
splitting
suggesting
hairs.
to him.
I don't think
it's that important. But yeah, I would like to go now.
Okay.
Before we leave, Preston is going to do one thing. He's going to leave a note on the guy's desk that just says that he's a bad person.
Why does that hurt somehow?
Oh,
I know, right?
Because of how pure Preston is. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what you think. But anyway, yeah. You guys remove the caskets from the doors and head back out. You see the dwarf still lying there, and several children between the ages of 6 and 9 picking his pockets.
He doesn't have the money
cast
anyway.
Fireball.
Oh my god.
On the children!
Okay, dexterity saves.
I'm joking. Oh my god, I would never.
None of them saved.
I
would never.
can't show the face.
Wouldn't you though?
Damian stabs
You know
Todd.
what? Instead, I will cast
Todd is-
Prestidigitation
Todd's a
and create
criminal now.
a shower of sparks over them.
Oh, okay. Make an intimidation check.
And like a pop. 6. Intimidation. 12?
12? That's enough to scare off small children.
They're children.
Yeah, so just a bright, like, flash and pop and sparks go off, and all these kids immediately stuff everything into their pockets and scurry in different directions.
Oh my god. Can I... No, I won't. Okay. I'll go over to the dwarf.
He's still passed out.
I'm going to take my mage hand, and I'm going to slap the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he, like, comes to, like, just like, oh, what a soft tap. 5 pounds of force is not that much.
Can you imagine getting hit in the face with a 5-pound brick?
I'm trying to think because
this weighs 5 pounds. You would kill someone with this.
So what I was thinking, you're absolutely right. My brain went in a completely different direction, which was just push force instead of like high speed force. No, absolutely.
Well, that's what I was like.
What weighs more, 5 pounds of metal or 5 pounds of push force?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like,
push force.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good thing this man has a beard because otherwise he would have lost a tooth. But yeah, he like comes to like bleary-eyed and just confused again and immediately starts crying again.
There's a chicken standing on his chest, and I speak directly into his mind. I'm like, stop crying right now or I will fucking kill you myself.
Jesus Christ.
He sucks the
This
tears
poor
back
guy.
in.
Thank you. How much money did you have in your pocket, you dumb son of a bitch?
None?
Oh, well, what did you have in your pocket that all those kids just stole?
I had a horse toy from my son.
Oh, well.
I had a handkerchief. What
Oh,
happened to the horse from my
What
son?
a horrible...
Don't fucking cry, I'll kill you.
What a horrible father.
horrible father.
Don't you fucking cry.
There's no crying in baseball.
He's not a horrible father. He's poor. He's trying his best.
I am going to take
I lost all my money paying for my son's new shoes.
Oh my
what
God.
is your what is your name?
Is your favorite color? Sorry,
What's your
Yeah.
name? What is your name? You
What's your name?
stupid person.
What is your name?
Bruce.
Are you kidding me?
Bruce?
What's your favorite color?
I'm very partial to green.
Oh, perfect.
I lost his accent. I don't care.
Oh, it's fine. He's oh shit. What did he sound like when he first started doing this? I made fun of it.
He was Scottish or something.
Oh, he did the Evening
I'm
Star
very
thing. That's
partial to
right.
green. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. If you promise me that you will stop crying right now, I will put a platinum in your hand. Jesus.
I fucking love this.
Okay, I am going to very
Koop, you okay? Where'd
annoyed.
Koop go?
I'm still here. I'll be right back.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I'm going to, in a very annoyed fashion, put a single platinum in his hand, and I'm going to be like, get off the ground, go back to your house, stop going to your stupid fucking pit fights, you goddamn idiot, and take care of your stupid child.
I don't know if I'm crying from laughing or I actually made myself cry.
God.
Yeah, so he has the platinum and he like holds it to his chest and he hugs you.
Ugh.
And he
Do
like
you
slowly...
Like
Yeah.
a spouse? Is that a thing you do?
Yes.
All right. Here's the second platinum. Get out of my life. Never come back. Move somewhere nice. Go to the sea. I don't know. Go away.
See?
Bye, Bruce.
As he walks away.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, he takes off.
Oh. I just look back at Ezra and I'm like, is everybody like this? God, do you deal with this constantly when you're whoring yourself out for money?
Yes, but I make money. So
Ugh,
it's kind of
I
worth
did
you
it.
the
lost
opposite.
money.
Ugh,
Yeah.
people, they're
Hey.
so fragile. Why can't we all just be birds?
Well, we aren't all as fortunate as you are, Todd.
Mm-hmm. No, I know.
Mm. Yeah.
So, Preston,
Yeah,
how'd you feel about torturing your first person? How was that?
I did not like it.
We didn't torture anybody.
You'll get over it. It was emotional
It's
torture.
fine.
I
Emotionally
Oh.
scarred him for life.
I don't like torture.
That wasn't torture, sweetie. You're fine.
It was close enough.
You can absolve yourself of any wrongdoing. Source me. I absolve you. I'm a cleric. You're absolved, my
God says you're
child.
good, bro.
Yep.
You've been absolved, and that person downstairs has been dissolved.
Aha!
That's a pretty good one, actually.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I've got.
Also, Damian, blood that you got. I might be able to help with it.
I was hoping you would.
Right.
Anyways, why the fuck are you here?
Wow. Wow, Damian. Sensitive. You're here because we like you, Preston.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're okay.
You're welcome. Oh my
Wow,
god.
big compliments from Todd.
You all suck so much.
To be fair, you're all okay.
I like you, Preston. I think it's
I
pretty cool.
appreciate that. That I think that's the most honest thing that you've ever said to me.
Me? I
Yeah.
say honest things to you all the time.
Zone of truth show up?
No, it was back in the house. Do you want me to cast Zone of Truth again? I'll do it. I have one spell slot left for it. No, okay, here's some more honest things. You have a very long nose. And your ears are pretty big.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. Between mocking my accent and then pointing out my facial traits, I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable.
Okay, all right.
It feels manipulative, doesn't it?
They just need more cigarettes.
I mean, it just kind of feels rude.
I'm just making observations. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying that's what it is. All right, fine. Say something about me then. I won't take offense.
Emotionally codependent twink.
Obnoxious.
Okay, this was for Preston, not for you two.
Oh.
Emotionally codependent twink. Just repeats what both of them said. I assume that we're walking while we're talking.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what, Preston? You're not wrong.
I know.
Not wrong. Yeah. So there you go. Now we're even.
I'm a
Preston,
chicken.
You're also very good at noticing things that other people wouldn't notice.
Yeah. I think you're also the nicest one out of all of us. We're all kind of assholes except you, so...
I don't think you're the nicest one. I know you are.
I thought I was the nicest one.
Wait,
we can all think things.
I gave that man 2 platinum for
what's
his boy.
What's everybody's passive insight?
Oh.
17.
Yes.
14.
It's 20.
Give me 1 second.
Jesus.
That's like... My whole character is built around one skill, and it's insight.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Taiylor. I had to roll something really quick. Because Damian and Ezra would definitely notice that being called the nicest one of everybody made made Preston a little uncomfortable.
I what you were putting down.
Yeah.
Preston, are you one of those people who's just like gets skeeved out when people compliment you?
Oh, hold the mirror up higher, Ash.
Ash is getting way better.
I love that Koop just like immediately laughed.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't always like this.
Like what?
Just I wasn't always so nice.
I find that hard to believe. Usually people get meaner as they get older.
Well, shame will do some funny things.
Well, now I'm sad.
Sign club. All right, let's get home.
What? Hold on a sec. For
Yep,
what it's
marching.
worth. Okay, fine. You're not in the position to hear it, then fine.
Nope, I've said too much. Doop, 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 doop.
Oh shit, we forgot to do that thing where we say we're walking while we're doing stuff in character and we all go, yeah.
No, somebody already said it.
Well, no, but we didn't actually do the physical act of walking. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys went 2 feet and you forgot.
Damn.
I gotta weave. I gotta be like the geese in Aristocats.
Okay, well, I would say that by this point, with how much you guys have walked around and fucked around and waiting for fights and whatnot, it is getting to the later part of the day.
Okay.
And you head back to Hydrangea House. Whereupon...
Oh.
What? What's up?
No, what were you going to say?
I said, whereupon you find food waiting for you from Wally.
Oh.
Cool.
What?
After dinner, I am going to go back to my room in the main house.
Okay.
Nobody follow me.
We don't want to.
Fuck my boyfriend.
Nope. Don't have one of those.
No, you don't, actually.
Stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I am going to go, when I go back to my room, knock on Gideon's door.
Okay. Knock, knock. Let's see. With the time of day, yeah,
I don't know if he's working or not, but...
I would say, this is one of his days off.
Okay.
You hear from inside, fuck, what does Irish sound like again?
Hoity-toity-toy.
Actually, that helps.
They're after me Lucky Charms. Me mother's a bear.
That does not.
No, me mother's a bear is not.
Yeah, you hear from inside, you hear Gideon go, come in.
I open the door.
And you see Gideon in he's sort of in relax mode, so he's in sort of a sheer robe and he has leggings on underneath, no shirt. He walks around like this all the time. But yeah, he has his hair up in a messy man bun. And you see he is just freshly trimmed his beard.
Oh my God.
But he what?
You're just trying to make me horny, aren't you?
Walking this man looking like a snack.
Yep.
But yeah, he turns and you see him taking out silver earrings that he normally wears. He looks at you, he's like, Ezra, welcome back.
Hi.
What's going on?
I have a present for you.
Oh, not more presents.
I'm gonna take Bartholomew out of...
Oh my God. Did you just fall asleep?
Aw, he's so cute.
He really is, though.
Aww.
Now I was gonna put him down, but now I can't.
Nope.
But yeah.
He does look asleep.
You hear a sound that starts somewhere way back in the bottom of Gideon's throat that is so high pitched that the guinea pig responds to it. So you just hear, and oh, sorry, buddy. And the guinea pig just goes wee 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 wee. And he just very oh, what's
his name's Bartholomew.
Oh, he just cradles him. Sorry, buddy.
I kind of scooped him up at an illegal fight ring on a whim. Don't ask. It's been a long day.
Why were you at?
Don't worry about
you
it.
in the Undercroft?
Don't worry about it.
Don't tell me you're working down there.
No, absolutely not. Not enough money down there for my liking.
No.
Yeah. No, it was a Damian thing. He dragged me. With all of his stuff.
What does your brother do?
He's just kind of like a professional dick, actually.
Oh, a detective.
Yeah, Exactly.
You know that actually, like, private eye, private dick are actual words that mean detective?
Yes, I didn't
Okay.
mean to do that double entendre, but
Got a couple good ones today.
it worked out well. Yeah.
Girl, same. But yeah, he's like, okay, so
Yeah.
you're helping him on a case?
Yes.
Helping.
Please tell me it's
Shut
not,
up.
like, you're not after murderers, are you? Please tell me you're not.
No, I don't think.
You
Well,
don't know?
is institutional murder a thing? Like,
What?
we're kind of like going more up against capitalism and like monetized healthcare and everything like that,
Well,
rather
I
than
mean, you
like
know I'm all
stabby
for that,
stabby.
but stay
Yeah.
safe.
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah,
Why?
it's
Hold
good.
on. Why are you working with your brother? Are you not working here anymore?
Well, no, I am. I am. I just I don't know. I'm trying to bond with him.
You're bonding with your brother over investigating capitalistic murder.
Yes.
Living the dream.
Us Castilles, we know how to party, you know.
I mean, yes, but so, and he's like holding Bartholomew and has been just gently scritching him this whole time. He's like, what? I still have the same question as before. What the hell are you doing? Like, what are you investigating?
Didn't I tell him this? The
I
Boeing
don't remember.
fever. Oh, okay. I think I told him a little bit, but like the Boeing fever outbreak going on.
Uh,
Yeah. We're hoping to get some money, you know. And I'm just trying to earn some kudos, I guess.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't. This is going to sound a little possessive of me, maybe, but I don't know your brother, and from what you've told me about him, he's not good. And so I'm a little worried, you know?
Yeah. I mean, do you Oh no, that sounds like a horrible idea. But maybe you could meet him if you want.
I mean, yeah,
Oh God. I was hoping you were
soon,
gonna say no. Okay.
soon. I sort of have I plans tonight, but soon, yeah.
Okay. He's
Um,
very socially inept, but I don't he's not a psychopath or anything. He's just
I don't like that you felt you had to tell me that.
well, I mean, you I'm
Like
trying to put you at ease. Like this
you
is
telling me that makes me think, oh, if I'd met him without you telling me that, I would think he's a psychopath. You're putting
no,
ideas into my head, Ezra.
no, no. Just remember I brought you a guinea pig. He's
Yes,
yours.
and I adore
And
him. The
good.
moment I
Just think
have
about that.
the
Just
moment I have time, I'm going to go buy him everything his little heart could ever desire.
oh,
But I just want you to be safe.
I'm being safe. It's fine. Elves can't catch Boeing fever, so
Well, I guess.
Ooh, actually, real
what?
quick distinction.
Yeah.
Is it only pure humans that can get it, or were there any half humans on there?
Halves.
You didn't see any.
Okay. That's all.
Yeah, what you know what? Why don't you come over to Hydrangea House tomorrow morning and you
I
have
can do
breakfast with
that.
us?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll make sure he's on his best behavior, promise. He won't I
You know
can't
I'm
even
used to
guarantee
dealing
that he
with
won't be weird.
you know I'm used to dealing with people who aren't on their best behavior.
I know. That see, if you can deal with that, you can deal with him. He's fine.
But I do have to get ready. Uh but we'll find more
Uh,
time to hang out.
what are you doing?
I so you know how this place is more of a like club than it is a brothel, and we're like hosts more than courtesans, right?
Uh-huh. I've been working here
So
for a bit.
I met a customer a while back who, a fairly regular customer, who asked if I and a few others would come to act as hosts at a social gathering that he's throwing. No, nothing, salacious, just actual hosts keeping up the conversation and all that, entertaining. And so a few of us are going out that way. And I figured free wine, plenty of money for it, good night of doing nothing but talking to people. Figure it's a good way to make money.
Where is it at?
It's in the guild walk. It's at one of the guild halls. I want to say, I want to say one of the merchants guilds,
Okay. Who's the
but
customer? Anybody I know?
the guild master, new guild master. He's a younger fellow. His father just stepped down.
What's the name again?
Fuck, you had to ask.
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
have a name for them yet. Hold on, I'll grab one. I think I actually
I
have it
thought this
somewhere.
might be important, so I was like, oh.
Well, it might be important, but that doesn't mean I have a name ready. God, don't you know
Well,
me?
oh
Uh,
my God,
his
Koop.
his name is Londale Elmric.
Hmm.
You do know the surname Elmric. The the Merchants Guild that family heads is not the like biggest, overarching Merchants Guild, but there are several different ones. This particular guild deals mostly in trades with like uh how to put it? Not like craftsmen, but more like mass produced items. So like they deal with some of the factories, they deal with some of the bigger blacksmith shops, that kind of thing. They're a big like exporter sort of guild.
Okay.
But the family is dwarven.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess have fun, be careful, and all that.
Always careful, you know. And we're going, several people are going with me. I won't be alone.
Okay. Okay.
Fun with your friends.
Oh, I'm
Some
not.
of
I'm
us,
sleeping in my room because I can't
oh,
stand being near them any longer than I have to. That's not true. It's just nice to have a little alone time
I
after
understand.
traveling with them for so long. So
Well, hey, if there's any good wine left over from the party and I get back before, dawn, maybe I'll bring you some.
I would like that.
All right. Then he goes and he like puts Bartholomew in like a crate in his room, and then he just starts like putting soft stuff in there and like arranging it for him. And he like looks back at you. He's like, go, go, go. Don't watch me
Okay.
undress.
Hmm.
You've definitely seen him at least partially naked before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah. But the rest of you, everyone sort of goes their separate ways because I do want to get this Preston thing. Preston, as the night begins to set in, and Ezra is off to his own room, and Todd and Damian are being two crazy dudes somewhere else. I imagine Todd is sleeping on Damian.
Most likely.
What's Preston doing?
So Preston is sitting up currently in his room. And I would assume that in this room there's like some sort of like a vanity.
Oh yeah, this is a
Yeah.
very well furnished room.
So he's sitting there at the vanity and he has his arm off. And it's laying on the tabletop, and he's just currently looking at it. And in my mind, it's like an over the shoulder shot where it's like him looking at the arm, and then the camera pans over a little bit, and and you see that he has his toolkits out. But only one of the things only one thing is actually pulled out of its place in the toolkit, and that is a knife. And he's just kind of contemplating what to do. And the thought that comes to his head is, I need to be more useful. I'm not useful enough. And so he puts the arm on and picks up the knife and begins the ritual.
Let me paint you a fucking picture, kiddos.
Oh boy.
So,
try to make that as ominous as possible.
Yeah.
Preston, with his arm attached by its normal harness at the moment, does have parts of the harness undone in order to be able to reach parts of his shoulder. But the first thing Preston does, understanding that the arm will do most of the work for him, but he needs to get it started.
What the fuck?
He, having the arm just sort of hanging there on a couple straps, he reaches back with the knife and slits the back of his scapula open in just one quick motion. Blood begins to just course down your back. It's not a deep cut, but it definitely stings, to say the least. It is a very unnatural thing to cause yourself harm. But Preston's done a lot of shit in his life, his very short life, and this is by far not the craziest. And the knife comes back over, and you find the line of your clavicle and run the blade along the bone, and more blood just starts coursing down. This part of the process takes you 10, 15 seconds, maybe, just to sort of resettle yourself and get over that horrible, like, shiver of, I've just, like, mutilated myself. When you feel the, like, stump of your shoulder begin to grow hot, painfully hot, to the point that you forget the two cuts that you've inflicted. And it's almost to the point where you want to like grab onto the arm and throw it away. But you hold on because you understand something is happening here. This isn't what it is supposed to feel like when you cast through the arm. But something very unnatural happens as your arm moves on its own and clenches its fist. The sort of sides of the forearm and the upper arm split, and you see just a perfectly straight line on each porcelain casing. And from that gap, bright teal light shines out. And what looks like liquid copper begins to pour out of these splits and travel up the arm. And it sort of goes through the elbow joint as well. And it just slowly travels and spirals and then sort of pulls back. And then burning hot liquid metal shoots into your clavicle and scapula and just begins to bind itself to your actual bones. At this point,
I rolled a Constitution saving throw to try and prevent myself from screaming.
Yeah.
I got a 10, so do with that what you will.
In another room, Damian, you hear a very loud yelp that is cut off.
Gone. Sprinting. Going.
Todd goes flying up his chest.
I don't sleep. First off, I meditate. And secondly, I don't meditate as peacefully after the first night this shit happened with Preston if he's in the room next door. So I'm ready.
Hold on.
I guess I'll follow him after I pull myself back together.
Yeah, fix a few broken feathers. Damian, you burst into Preston's room to see this process as thin, just flowing lines of liquid copper, more and more of them come up in almost like a web and just keep digging in and like shooting through and attaching to his actual skeleton. The harness itself just straight up burns. Like it just begins fizzling away and there's smoke coming off of it. But the arm remains completely untouched. From these like web strands of liquid copper, you see the like sparkle of something else in them that to Damian, who knows exactly what it looks like because you've definitely had contact with it before, there is liquid residuum also running through these copper veins. Also known as, in solid form, also known as electroarcanic glass. This is generally something people should not play with. In fact, the only people really who know how to play with these kinds of substances are arcane airship engineers. But as Preston is just biting back another scream, you feel the heat just travel across your collarbone and finally settle close to the base of your neck. And you feel it travel across your entire, like, whatever's left of your scapula bone, and then settle against your spine in the back and at the base of your neck behind. Damian, do you do anything as you see this happening?
Yeah, one, do I see the knife?
Yeah, it would be dropped on the floor.
Cool. Second question. Does it look like the arm is being fused to Preston's body?
It definitely looks like it is attaching to him.
Lovely. Is there still time for me to try to cut off his shoulder so that he doesn't die, but also I can disconnect the arm from him? It's okay to say no for story reasons.
Preston doesn't have anything beyond the shoulder. Like, he doesn't have the shoulder joint anymore. Yeah. If you wanted to get this off of him, you'd have to, like, cut into his chest.
Yeah, so it's too late. It's too late at this point.
Yeah.
Right now, what goes through Damian's mind is this going to set this house on fire? And that's about it. Right now,
Okay.
he's gonna leave Preston to whatever is happening right now, and it just wants to do damage control.
But the finally the sort of webbing begins to pull closer in against the arm until it all slides into those splits in the porcelain. And finally a relieving like wash of like a cool sensation comes across your chest and back that distinctly feels like touching like cooled metal. And you feel your skin where it's like separated from your flesh where it's like separated from the bones slowly begins to like pull back in and become taut. And for the first time in perhaps, what is it, years now?
Yeah.
Um, you notice a sensation that at first is kind of ridiculous. You feel like you wrenched your elbow, but it's the prosthetic elbow. And you feel almost like it's called the ulnar nerve that sits right here and is sort of unprotected. It feels like you like hit that and like wrenched your arm. And then that feeling sort of spreads through your whole forearm and into your fingers and they start to tingle. And your last two fingers are numb for a moment and then they start to get feeling back. And your hand, which was once clenched on its own, suddenly relaxes completely. And your arm falls to your side, loose but attached. The porcelain plates they do this like shift where they open up a little further and then they clamp back shut, getting rid of all of the light, all of the exposed copper and residuum, and returning to the state that you've always had it in. But now this thing is a part of you and not attached by the harness. The harness has basically burned off, but you're fine. You seem to have healed.
Physically fine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try twitching the fingers a little bit and like making a fist, starting small.
Immediate reaction. No delay.
Yeah, and then just like moving the arm and the wrist and everything and like the shoulder.
You can feel not muscles pulling, but something pulling on the inside of that arm that acts like the ligaments that you once had. You become aware that there's like a space inside of the porcelain. And then there's something solid in the core, like a bone. And as you like twist your wrist and your elbow and your shoulder joint, you feel joints moving and you feel ligaments pulling, but there is no muscle. The only really out of place feeling, other than the missing sensation of muscle moving against skin, is you feel there's almost like some kind of flow happening through your entire arm. It's so small that if you're not focusing on it, you won't even notice, but it feels like a liquid flowing through. It would almost be like if you put a tourniquet on your arm and let it go and you can feel the blood rush back through, but so minuscule.
Right. And I think that that's probably when he looks at Damian. He was probably only vaguely aware that the door was kicked in. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't expect it to hurt more. They won't be able to take it so easy anymore.
How long have you known that you can do that?
The ship. I identified it on the ship. Just been kind of thinking about whether or not I wanted to go through with it. And I needed to be more useful. So, and I've been through worse, done worse. So why not?
I'm sorry if what I said earlier was mean.
It was probably the cruelest thing that you've said to me since we met. And I haven't exactly been the best teammate since we got here. But it's mostly because I have concerns in regards to our team. Todd can be volatile, makes it hard to do things sometimes.
Todd's just right there next to Damian, just nodding.
Right.
Yep, totally
He's like,
right.
yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, not wrong.
But Damian, the other person that concerns, well, 3 people, myself included, I am constantly a worry of myself. But you are the other person that I'm worried about.
That's Damian with his coffee thing.
Mm-hmm.
Back on that bench when we were talking, I showed you a letter with my real name on it. But as I've gotten to know you, you're not a man who doesn't like not having answers. Have you been using your contacts to look into me?
I don't think so. Have I, Taiylor? I don't think so. Yeah. No.
Right. I appreciate that. Damian, I'm not a good person.
Todd, close the door.
Fireball.
Cool.
Yep.
I said that with the intention of Todd staying inside, not outside.
I did.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I stayed
Good,
inside.
Good,
oh, yeah,
good.
you couldn't get rid of me.
Metal
From
man,
my cold,
I'm here.
dead talons.
Mm-hmm.
Preston. I've committed war crimes.
War. I've committed crimes.
We know. We were there.
Oh, okay.
But I made other one. I did other stuff too.
Preston, I struggle with being better than how I used to be. I don't care if you don't think you're not a good person. You're trying to be. And from what I've been told, that's what matters.
Do you think it's really possible to actually come back from some of the things? Or are there some things that are just unforgivable?
If there is some way to balance the scales, we're not gods. We're never meant to even see them. So all we can do is try to balance them. And the gods can show us how we did when we die.
I keep finding that you and I are a little more similar than we think. I love how Koop and I accidentally built characters that are so fucking
They're
similar.
literally very, very similar. Yeah.
They are incredible. As somebody who knows everything about both, they're incredibly similar, but also deeply different.
Very, very different. Yep.
It's almost like Koop and I are basically writing partners.
Yeah, for real.
The twin gods.
Uh-huh.
Preston, if this is a choice that you made to do this, and it's probably going to get you in trouble.
Oh, it's definitely going to get me in trouble.
That doesn't make you any different from Todd or Ezra or me. We've all done things that have a very good chance of getting us in trouble. But I don't give a shit. I just want to keep working.
Well, I'll keep working as long as I can. We'll see how long it takes before Abel or something else catches up. But now Abel's going to have to kill me to get this.
They could do worse than kill you.
So could I.
Well, if you ever want to tell us what the something else is, feel free to. It goes for you too, Todd.
What? What are we talking about?
How about this? Ezra's not here. Damian will sit cross-legged on the ground. How about we all
Todd
tell each
immediately
other...
hops in his lap.
Yep. How about we all tell each other something about ourselves that none of us knew before? And since Ezra's not here, they'll never learn these 3 things.
Wow. Wow.
God, that is the worst kind of bullying.
Yeah.
I love it.
FOMO.
S.
I'll start.
Is Gustav here?
Nah, he's asleep.
Okay.
Yeah. He has his own little goose bed filled with goose feathers.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. The last time I worked on a team, everyone died except me. That's it. It's too early in the campaign for me to give you more details, so that's all I'm telling you right now.
I like how now Todd and Preston are just staring at each other like it's a fucking
Who goes
Wild
next?
West showdown about who goes next.
It's like you guys are playing a game of chicken.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Bacock.
Todd, go next.
Sure. I'll tell you guys a secret.
Yeah.
I was raised and saved by an Underdark monster that gave me magic powers.
That's a 27 insight check.
Hang on, let me roll.
Yeah, don't
The
tell
problem
whether
is
it's deception
the
or
problem is
persuasion.
I'm very good at insight. Todd is also very good at lying.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18.
Damian, that is 100% true.
Oh damn. Okay. Tip my cap.
Todd was raised and given magic powers by an Underdark monster.
Love that.
No.
Have you
The Understar blessed me. The Dark Star.
The Understar.
Understar.
The Understar.
have you heard of the Kraken's Grasp?
Come in what?
The Kraken's Grasp?
Have we
History
heard of that?
checks.
History check.
History check for the chicken?
You say the Kraken's grasp?
Yeah.
Okay.
3.
Jesus Christ.
I know so much about the Kraken grass.
8.
Oh my
Takes
god.
little tentacles and it goes.
Look, I'm smart, but I'm not smart in that way.
Honestly, it would probably be easier for Damian given, where this happened. But
I'm actually gonna say this is kind of a moderately famous event. I'm gonna give you both advantage. Roll again.
ooh.
Nat 20, baby!
19.
All right. Okay, so Todd, the Kraken's Grasp was a Lochmeny trading ship, a pretty well-known one that would basically go from Lochmenos down to or would go from the south shores of Lochmenos down to Constanos, back and forth. That was its whole life, and it would make stops along the way at Calicar, Kamate. It even went to oh fuck, what's that place called? What's the harbor at the bottom of Garrow Shell, Koop?
You
Port
created
Ulo.
this world.
No, Koop would know it's related to some stuff, but Port Ulo, and then Gare and a bunch of other places. So the Kraken's Grasp was this every time this ship came down to Constanos, it would bring all the wonders of Lochmenos with it. And so it was every time it came into port, there was sort of a celebration around it because it would bring things that other merchants just didn't bring. It also had some famous sailors and figures aboard. It was kind of a magnet for adventurers and just interesting people in general. But probably most famous is the fact that the Kraken's Grasp captain was also a very well-liked noble in Constanos. A person from the Dine family, thank you, Brain, who was basically a merchant starting out and then eventually became a sailor to run his own trade lines. So not terribly far away from what's it called? Blank. Uh, not too far outside of an area known as Talham Island, and a city known as Farstrand. The Kraken's grasp went down for what seemed to be no reason. And Todd, that's about the end of your knowledge. That it's this big maritime mystery. Why did the Kraken's grasp sink? Damian, you know a little more because Dell took an interest in this as like a hobby, where he was like, "Ooh, a mystery. Let me go see if I can find out anything about this."
Sure.
And his theory, even though like the World Overseer Commission even got involved to like investigate the deaths of all of these well-known people, the World Overseer Commission called it a failure of the crew that caused the ship to basically crash into rocks off the coast of Talham Island. But Dell discovered that there were no rocks in the vicinity of where the ship sank. He went as far as to recruit some Triton water marshals, the sort of water version of the wardens, to actually go down and see if they could find the ship. And they found some of it. And what they reported was that it appeared something violently tore the ship apart. And it was partially charred, and there was evidence of potential, like, the powder store going off. And so Dell's theory has become the Kraken's grasp was actually taken down by its namesake. But no one knows of. There have been Krakens in history. There have been Krakens known to the world of Atlaran in history, but only like 2 of them, and they were both killed. So Dell's question now is like, how the fuck did another one come up? And so he's got all these like red thread theories going on, but none of it's going anywhere. So he just kind of left the project aside until, he's bored and doesn't have enough work to do again, which probably won't happen.
Interesting. So to answer Preston's question, yes, I do have some casual passing knowledge of that.
It's a pretty famous maritime disaster. It's like the Edmund Fitzgerald of Atlaran.
I was actually going to make that joke that was like the Edmund Fitzgerald of Atlaran, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Same brain.
Yeah, when you pitched that story to me, you didn't think I was going to make it a big deal, did you?
No, sure didn't. I already messaged you to the side.
Immediately, Todd starts singing Gordon Lightfoot over the telepathic bond.
God.
So,
sorry, buddy. Sorry. Go ahead.
That was me.
You're the boat?
I'm why it was destroyed. Because I destroyed it.
Can I ask why? From one destroyer to another, just curiosity?
I have a lot of lost time. And I stowed away on the ship to get away from a lot of other problems that had been caused by me and I lost time on the ship and woke up on the coast of Loch Manos. And I just kind of have fleeting glimpses of the crew being slaughtered and the ship being dismantled. That nightmare that I had, I was remembering it. So I'm the reason that over 100 people died and that their families will never know what happened to them, and that all of the goods and that ship are just ruins on the bottom of the ocean.
Well, we've each shared our thing, so I think we just go to bed now.
And Damian's like, do I share this with Dell? I've solved it.
Have I though?
Crazy elephant man.
Because here's the thing: you said you did it, but at the same time, you're not. You haven't said how or why. It seems like you think you did it, but maybe you're not sure that you did it.
Time will tell.
Conjecture.
Time will
Preston
tell.
is actually the Kraken in elephant form, trapped in elephant form.
Don't give
That'd
Taiylor
be
that
cool.
idea.
Yeah.
That is such a Harris thing to come up with, though.
Yeah.
I'm a squid in an elephant.
Whoa!
I am Eldritch Terror.
So, when you say that something else might catch up with you, are you talking about the law?
Among other things.
Cool. Well, if we're going to be cryptid, I'm just going to go to bed, because
We're being cryptids?
Yes. I call Mothman.
Oh, fuck.
there is still a lot of work to do here, and I need to get my 4 hours of meditation in before getting back to work tomorrow.
You have to understand, I haven't told anybody any of this. Well, one person. But he's dead, so it's not easy for me to share any of this or relive it. So, patience, please.
Todd, do you care?
Did he blow up a boat? No, that's fine.
I don't care either.
I disabled a child for life today. It's fine.
I didn't think of disabled as in like the bodily like inability to do certain things. I thought of like disabled as in like disabling a machine. And so I was just like, he poked the child and the child powered down.
Yep, permanently.
Preston, is blowing up that boat the reason why you think you're a terrible person? Or is there more?
It's definitely high up on the list,
Okay.
but it's far from the only thing.
So one large boat is the big thing that makes you feel bad.
You'd say it's a boatload of guilt.
Damian, that's the last time
Okay.
that I lost time.
So when you say that you lose time, What does that mean?
Well, if it helps, I haven't lost time in almost 15 years.
Okay. It doesn't help because it doesn't explain what you mean by that. Was the boat 15 years ago?
No, the boat was almost 20 years ago.
How old are you?
Wait, how old is Preston?
Preston was born in 1408, and it is currently 440. He is 32.
408.
1408.
408. Okay.
What if he's
Not
from the
14.
future? What if he was born in 1408 and he came back in time?
Unless he was born in 1408 in a previous era.
Wait, so you
which means
like
he could be
negative
thousands of
900
years
something.
old.
So you blew up a boat when you were 10?
No, I would have been, let's see, 18.
12. How does that math work
If
out?
you're 32 and the boat blew up 20 years ago, you would have
Almost 20 years ago.
That math doesn't make sense.
That math doesn't make sense.
The ship blew up in 423.
Okay.
So you'd have been 15.
Yeah, 15. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that is technically almost 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
We're there. It's like 17 years ago.
Yeah. When I was 10, there was a boy that I liked. When I was 10.
Hashtag Pride Month.
My God.
Hey. Hashtag Happy Pride.
When I was 10, there was a boy that I liked, and I wanted to get him something nice to show him that I liked him. And I couldn't afford it, and a gentleman came up to me one day, and he offered me a deal. He would provide me something. He would provide it to me if I agreed to help him with something.
I'm going to need to put so many trigger warnings in this episode.
And I agreed. And that was the first time that I lost time, and I burned my village to the ground. And for 5 years after that, I would continue to lose time. Once I lost 3 months burning my way across Gale's shell until I stowed away on a boat and destroyed it.
Koop, make me a history check. And Todd.
As an unnatural 20.
Nat 20.
You both recall hearing about an completely unexpected outbreak of wildfires in Gale Shell around this time.
Damian, you've committed war crimes. And I've killed over 300 people. So tell me, how much black ink do I need to erase the red in my ledger? How do I balance those scales? You can't. I'm just doing the best that I can. Because I'm too chicken shit to kill myself. And I don't know if I could anymore.
There's another one.
I know. That's the title of this episode. Trigger warnings.
Yeah, no. Body horror, more body horror, suicide,
Chicken shit.
murder.
Fires.
Racist chicken slaying. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. For a second, I think everybody was thinking there was going to be a mention of pedophilia.
Yep.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that.
I was a little worried
No.
about that. Yep.
Nope.
That is one area that I do not stray into.
Yeah, no, I never would have fucking done that.
But anyway.
Preston, if you really want to measure dicks.
I don't. You're not quite my type.
That is... Okay.
Maleficent?
This is,
Sorry.
Oh my god. That's what I'm trying to tell you, though, is it doesn't matter. We can't know the scales even if there are any. So you're doing the right thing by trying. I don't know what you want me to say. You didn't even choose to do those things. I did. You don't remember so much of it because you lost the time. I wish I could. It doesn't matter.
I didn't quite lose the time, though. I still saw it all. It's just now I only see it in my dreams. He made me watch. And I blocked it out. And now I get to remember it when I go to sleep. And you say I didn't choose to do those things, but I definitely chose to do the thing that started it all. Stupid 10-year-old kid tries to do one nice thing and hundreds of people die for it. How's that fair? I can't look at myself in a mirror. This is why I don't work on teams. Because I'm scared that something's going to happen and that he's going to come back. And then I'll have more blood on my hands.
It's so hard to do these
I'm
serious
so
moments
sorry.
at this party
I'm so
because
sorry.
of the group chat that's going on that none of the viewers, aka Corey, can see. We just need to send him our chat transcript. Someone screenshot this. Tried to give my boyfriend a gift, killed 2,700 people, and all I got was PTSD. And
they were 10 years old.
They were 10 years old.
That's why I added consensual adult penis. Like, wait until you're of age.
No contact.
No contact.
I'll tell you what, Preston. I don't care what you did. I really, really don't. I've spent time with worse people. I've worked with worse people. You're trying to do your best now. That's all I care about. If something happens and you start trying to burn Constantinos to the ground, I'll kill you.
I mean, given the state of the healthcare situation here, would it be the worst thing? There was a joke. Just as a heads up, there was a joke. Don't kill me, please.
Yeah, what I said wasn't.
Honestly, I think that that's one of the reasons why I trust you. Even though that, by all means, knowing the person that you are, you should be putting me in handcuffs and marching me down to whatever this town has as a sheriff's office. sure there's a reward.
There probably is. But one of the few people in this world that I actually care about, if she was here right now, she would tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. It doesn't matter what you did. Just do better.
We'll see what Garoshel has to say about that when we get there.
I don't give a shit what Garoshel has to say, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to bed.
I thought you didn't sleep.
I don't, because I get the same nightmares.
Well, I'll try and keep the screaming down, so that you can get your 4 hours. There was also a joke.
I think at this point, Damian just gets up and leaves. There's no enjoy the rest of your days.
Yeah.
Enough has been said.
I feel like Todd is still sitting there singing to himself. It's just like, the let it on now. He doesn't know the words.
The first song I came up with was "Won't You Take Me to Funky Town."
My God.
Anyway, after that beautiful trauma contest, woo, yeah, that was the dick measuring contest of trauma.
Yes, my trauma penis.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you, you guys are practically twins in that area. So, as the person who knows, so
Same brain.
Same.
yeah, I literally keep messaging Koop like, a lot of similarities, huh?
Yeah, it's a little uncanny.
It is.
Yeah.
It is though. It's like so different, but the result is so the same. It's amazing. I love it. But
We
anyway,
even picked opposite arms for our prosthetics.
Oh my God.
right?
Jesus.
You guys head off to bed while Todd just boot scoot boogies to his little Gordon Lightfoot song.
I'm just gonna start wandering around the hydrangea place, just singing to myself. Because now I'm all jacked up on fun feelings.
Yeah. I feel like Todd's just like, gosh, I wonder if Mom will send me a pie.
I feel like Todd is more like walking through the place, talking to himself in his head, and he's just like, why do people feel bad about things? That's weird. Huh.
Wow.
I can come up with a
like-
really good lore reason for why Todd thinks that way.
Because he's a chicken, and chickens don't
No.
have morality.
No, I can come up with a really good lore reason as to why.
I mean, go for it. I'm happy to
Do
take
you
some
want me to
adjustments.
actually? No, I can't actually say it. It'll give things away. I'll tell you. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
in the screenplay of this campaign, that scene was called something like 3 psychopaths discuss their, and then in parentheses it says lack of, and then guilt.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's 1 psychopath and 2 recovering psychopaths.
That's true.
No, I think it's 2 psychopaths and a guy that we're not sure if he's recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Still not
Folks
sure
head
which
off
one
to
I am,
bed.
but that's fine.
You're the psychopath.
You're the psychopath.
What?
But folks head off to bed. Ezra turns in his little room, in his large room in the La Compagnie.
Completely
Honk
unbothered.
Todd-
shoe, me.
Honk shoe.
Yep.
Where does Todd sleep?
Eventually he ends up back at Damian's room, but I think he's gonna wander around a little bit and just like contemplate why people are so attached to things that they can't change. And then he's gonna go to bed.
Is that a question you ask yourself regularly?
Like me personally
I
in
don't
life.
know. I'm just curious.
I don't know. Sometimes maybe, but not all the time.
It just sounds like a very Ben question.
Oh, does it?
But anyway.
It's because I'm the horrible person in the group, actually, guys.
Nah.
I'm a real life psychopath.
Oh my god.
No.
That's true.
But anyway. Yeah, you all turn in, head to bed, get some rest. Long rests for everybody. Yay.
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 Oh,
Do we
long
level up?
rest. Luck points.
No.
That was a joke.
What the fuck? No. Never.
We don't get emotional experience.
Never.
No.
We just get
Only
emotional damage. Yes.
I will say, Ezra,
Yeah.
as we close.
Ezra.
Yes.
Ezra.
Ezra.
Gideon does not show up early in the morning with a bottle of wine.
He stood
He's a
you up.
cunt.
No,
He did.
I-
He said he would try if he could get
Right.
back in, an okay amount of time. He does
It's
not show
fine.
up.
Drop the case.
When I-
We're killing Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
No. We might have Ezra as a big bad if that's the case, but
That's a fun idea. Go
That
ahead.
would be hilarious for you to be the big bad, but you can't tell us why.
well,
That's true.
No, that's what I'm doing. Oh, wait. I mean, sorry.
can I I guess that's a good question.
But
I can't tell him, but can I tell other people? I guess I couldn't say it out loud to myself, so
you couldn't even
no.
write it.
Yeah, you couldn't even
No.
write it down.
So yeah, no one can know. No one can know.
How are they gonna know?
How would they know? Well, he did say he was gonna come over to Hydrangea House for breakfast.
Uh-huh.
So when I wake up, is he in his
When I
room
wake
in
up?
the morning?
What time do you say you get up?
I don't know, like 7 or 8.
So maybe an hour or two after dawn.
Sure.
If you go check, he is not in his room. And that's where
He's
we're going to
dead.
end today.
Oh, he's dead, Jim.
Yeah, concerned.
He's got Boeing fever.
Concerned. Well, I was worried about that too. I'm like, he's human, so I'm like,
He's not.
Oh,
he's
is
half elf.
he?
he's a half elf?
He's a half elf.
Oh, I thought he was human. Okay.
Nope.
But that means he's half human, right?
That's why I
Yeah,
asked.
the other half is human.
That's why I asked earlier if
Okay.
there are any records of half human people.
Yeah.
Not that you've
Not
seen.
yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And you just brought a
Ugh.
bunch of blood back with us, and we
That
didn't
would
wash
make-
ourselves.
That would make for such a
No,
good
you did
plot
not.
hook.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, can you tell that this is deeply inspired by the trauma that was COVID?
God, the
Uh,
number of content warnings I'm gonna have to put on this episode.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
I know
Trauma,
there's
the
at least like
musical.
6 now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
There's-
anyway,
Let's go through them. There's there's self-harm,
Yep.
suicide.
suicide,
Uh,
pedophilia,
pedophilia. Yep. Almost.
What?
Almost pedophilia.
Me taking really long pauses.
Oh, that one
Yeah.
was really bad.
Yeah,
That was
whatever.
such a
That was
long
a
pause
really
in there.
long
God damn it!
pause.
I had to resist the urge because a long time ago you asked me not to call you Mr. Long Silence. I had to resist the urge so hard.
A lot of the times when I'm taking a long, you know what? We'll end first, and then I'll explain to everyone
Please.
why I do that once we're done.
I mean, I just imagine you're thinking, but anyway. Yeah. So plenty of content warnings for this one. That'll be fun.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. You can catch episodes on YouTube every other Saturday. And we've been pretty consistent lately, so yeah, every other Saturday. Yay. But that was a long one, but that was a good one.
Maybe I'll split this one in half.
That might be a good idea.
Maybe we'll
honestly.
see.
Just
Maybe
like all of Preston's friends.
Oh.
No, most of them were blown apart, not split in half.
On that
Oh.
note, before
Also-
we have to
Yeah.
add even more content warnings to this episode.
Yay! Murder, death, chaos,
Yay.
genocide.
Yay.
We'll see y'all next time.
Guinea pigs?
Guinea
All the
pigs.
sides?
Guinea pigs.
Geese.